Busch Gardens Tampa is filled with amazing and iconic roller coasters. This roller coaster collection has changed a lot over the past few years, and as a whole, Busch Gardens Tampa has had a monumental effect on the amusement park industry. This park has affected the game more than many would expect. If you don't believe me, I'll be explaining how each addition to the roller coaster lineup changed the future of roller coasters for amusement parks across America. Starting the current collection with an iconic addition, B&M has revolutionized the game. The company has been around for decades, and some argue that their 90s rides are the best. Kumba is no exception to that statement. With the vibrant colors, that roar, and the intensity, it's definitely a ride well renowned across the world. The ride would take the world record for the most inversions for its time, beating out an aerodynamics roller coaster from across the US and Ohio. The roller coaster was a groundbreaking addition. After a month of testing, Busch Gardens Tampa's star attraction was born. Busch Gardens had never seen an addition this big up until Kumba, and there's a reason it's a vintage ride that still stays in the plot of land today. The ride features a 143-foot lift hill, giving the ride enough kinetic energy to flip riders 7 times upside down. Racing 60 miles per hour, Kumba will shoot riders up a 114-foot loop. The loop would be the tallest on any roller coaster and would feature the unique characteristic of interacting with the lift hill. Next is the first ever dive loop. This is a signature B&M roller coaster element. However, Kumba initiated the popularity of the element by proving to invert riders in a unique way. The rest of the ride follows high G-force valleys and inversions that thrill riders with a long layout. In the long duration, riders are met with the ride's signature zero-G roll, and of course the signature interlocking corkscrews. Likewise, this sequence of elements would be the first of its kind. With the path being located right next to the element, it proved to be a great opportunity for photos and still defines Busch Gardens Tampa with its iconic look. Kumba would be an integral part to the park's overall collection. The African Congo word Kumba directly translates to roar. Busch Gardens Tampa's Congo section of the park would never be the same without the loud, intimidating roar. Kumba still provides thrills and will for years to come. It proved to be a foundation for the future editions. With the success of Kumba, Busch Gardens Tampa decided to purchase another large B&M edition. This time, instead of riding on top of the track, this B&M would ride below the track. It only took 2 years, and 2 of the Swiss manufacturer's best rides would be constructed. Montu was a hit. Many argued that this was one of the best roller coasters for its time. Both Montu and Kumba were ranked in the top 5 of the Golden Ticket Awards for several consecutive years. The ride would debut with its own section of the park. The Egyptian section of the park followed with Montu's opening and offered a great theme for the ride experience. Themed after the Egyptian god of war Montu, the 3,983-foot-long ride layout begins with the 150-foot lift hill. This would be the tallest on any inverted roller coaster until Busch Gardens would dethrone their own record at their sister park in Virginia. The element that made this ride unique was its batwing. This sequence of inversions exerts 3.8 Gs on riders. The ride experience still stands up to today's standards. This is one of B&M's first inverted roller coasters, and today is argued by many roller coaster enthusiasts to be their best ride of the model. With a higher ride capacity and a long duration with intense elements, many guests are glad to have Montu located at a park surrounded with so many amazing roller coasters. Montu received a repaint and looks better than ever, being the first thing guests see when they enter the park. It's a fitting way to greet new park goers before experiencing Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay wasn't quite done with the B&M attraction additions to their park. The park's first hyper roller coaster would be a dive coaster. Named after an African bird that dives 90 degrees for prey, Shikra lives up to the name, with an intimidating 90-degree drop at heights of 200 feet. This ride would be different from the original dive coaster model. Instead of featuring trains with a floor, Shikra debuted with floorless trains. This would be the first B&M dive in North America And SheiKra would innovate the coaster game by being the first roller coaster with a splashdown element. Now, splashdowns can be found on rides all across the world, and it was not only huge across the world, but a big addition for Busch Gardens Tampa Bay. This would be the tallest addition to the park yet, opening in Stanleyville, followed by multiple buildings and restaurants added around the ride. The ride experience is as groundbreaking as the stats suggest. The 200-foot lift hill offers amazing views of the Tampa Bay skyline. You get a phenomenal 180-degree view of Tampa before plummeting down one of the best first drops on the planet. Some argue the ride doesn't live up to the modern steel roller coasters, but SheiKra is still a thrilling ride worth experiencing in the front and back rows. The 8 across seating in one row allows for those on the ends to feel that they are flying at impressive heights. The modern B&M dive roller coasters would never have been as innovative as they are today without SheiKra sparking interest among many parks across the world. Many people don't give SheiKra enough value for the grand addition it should be credited for. Busch Gardens Tampa would take a break from high thrill rides. Finally appealing to families, Air Grover was added. The Zero roller coaster would be opening with the Sesame Street section, and this was only the beginning of the family roller coasters. A year later, Cheetah Hunt was added. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay took a break from B&M to build a family through a Blitz roller coaster with Intamin. Racing over the safari of Busch Gardens Tampa, this would be a hit for families and thrill seekers. Gathering some of the longest lines in the park, Intamin first worked with Cedar Point to build the first Blitz roller coaster. But Busch Gardens had a completely different ride experience in mind. Instead of the intensity of Maverick for a small ride stature, Cheetah Hunt would feature graceful elements to entertain all of the family. This Blitz roller coaster would be nothing like any other prior ride. The hype the park created for the ride was extremely well executed. The park would release pieces of the POV before the full announcement. When the ride was finally revealed, it was revolutionary. Intamin revealed the layout would have an inversion, not to mention the impressive ride duration. With 4,429 feet of track, every element in the ride layout is purely based on fun elements racing over the safari and animal exhibits. In the layout, you're met with 3 LSM launch sections to reach a top speed of 60 miles per hour. However, the most noteworthy element is the Windcatcher Tower, standing 102 feet, acting as an iconic view over the parking lot. This is one of the first rides you see before entering the park. To this day, Cheetah Hunt gets some of the longest lines in the park. This is a testament to how good the ride experience is. Cheetah Hunt would be a hit for the park and lead to many more great rides to come. Busch Gardens Tampa would work with another company that they haven't worked with prior. Cobra's Curse is a Mack Rides innovative family ride. Cobra's Curse would be a very unique addition, another family ride but heavily differing from Cheetah Hunt. The most notable aspects of the ride include the elevator lift, the spinning trains, and the impressive theming. Busch Gardens Tampa Bay never really had a roller coaster as well themed as Cobra's Curse. But Montu's Neighbor would enhance the Egyptian section of the park, and with an outstanding ride queue, you get a great background story for the ride. But once riders finally embark in the trains through a moving section, you are met with a series of bank turns. In its very compact layout, the ride experience is lengthy with 2,100 feet of track, and the 70-foot elevator lift is a one-of-a-kind element not found on many roller coasters across the world. The Egyptian section of the park would never be the same without the inventive nature of Cobra's Curse. Premier ride skyrockets were being built all over the world. Busch Gardens Tampa took interest and added one of their own. A Premier Skyrocket 2 model, becoming the tallest launch coaster in Florida when it opened. Standing 150 feet, the ride features multiple launches, reaching a top speed of 62 miles per hour. With 9 rows, the ride only features one train, limiting rider capacity. However, the ride is very short, with only a complete track length of 863 feet. Despite its short duration, the ride manages to pack a lot of thrilling elements within the layout. There's the intense LSM multi-launches forwards and backwards, but then an inline twist at 150 feet from the ground below before spiraling in a twisting drop into a non-inverted loop. With only one inversion, the roller coaster packs an intense ride experience. This addition to the park was severely unappreciated. However, it's set up for Busch Gardens' largest addition to date. In 2018, Busch Gardens announced the closure of their dueling wooden roller coaster. With RMC being one of the most popular manufacturers in the industry, an amusement park guest rumors spread fast, and it was obvious Tampa would receive one of their premier attractions. Rocky Mountain Construction added their biggest roller coaster in North America yet, standing 206 feet and having an intimidating first drop at 91 degrees. Fans knew it would clearly be a world-class attraction. Before opening day, many hyped up the roller coaster, saying it would be the best coaster in the world. The ride was very problematic at first. With the COVID pandemic spreading fast, the ride was postponed a few years. The ride was completed 3 years before it would even open, sitting without operation for a large time span. Theme park fans would grow angry with the park's decision to delay the opening, but fans were finally silenced when the ride opened. The ride soared 76 miles per hour through 4,075 feet of track with intense pace. You ripped through each element with no slowing down. Fans of the ride instantly respected it as one of the greatest roller coasters across the world. Busch Gardens Tampa would never be the same without their headliner, bringing in guests from all over the planet. B&M would add another inverted roller coaster to the park 28 years later. This family attraction would replace Sand Serpent. Opening on July 21st of 2024, the ride offered a vibrant presence. Phoenix Rising's most notable attribute is the onboard audio. This enhances the ride experience as you soar above guests in the queue and midways. Standing only 80 feet, the ride features a short duration of 1,831 feet of track. The ride was the perfect family addition for the Pantopia section of Busch Gardens Tampa. The future of Busch Gardens Tampa looks very promising as the lineup is still adding more attractions every few years. It's widely regarded as one of the greatest roller coaster lineups in the world. The park may not have a lot of rides, but the rides they have are unique and some of the best models of their kind, and each ride supports the overall lineup. I'm fortunate to have an amazing park that I can call home, and I'm very optimistic of the future of the park as each addition throughout the years continues to be improving. Let me know what your favorite roller coaster at Busch Gardens Tampa is in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.